Hello again. This is Gertrude Mache here in Wellington, New Zealand. And today, for Mother's Day, I have a very, very special and unique mother who is based in Boston. Oh, no, not Boston, Atlanta, Georgia, correct?
Yes, definitely.
By the name of Elaine De Prince. Elaine, hi, how are you?
Hello, Gertrude. I'm fine. How are you?
I am good. It's a real honor to be able to connect with you today on Mother's Day to talk a little bit about your unique and amazing story. Now, I know that you are the mother to many, 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 many children. And I would like you just to take me back right to the beginning of when you stepped into motherhood and what it meant to you at that time, because I know you've got a sad beginning.
My beginning was very sad. Actually parented a sibling, my younger brother. I provided most of his parenting, and then when he was 8 years old, he died of leukemia, and I was heartbroken. And I was convinced that after seeing all the children in the hospital who had no parents, that when I married, or even if I didn't marry, when I was older and established and had my own career, that I would adopt a child or two children. Then I had two biological sons, and I still pursued adoption and ended up adopting three boys with classic hemophilia, hemophilia A. It was a bleeding disorder. Because my two biological children had bleeding disorders. But my three little ones ended up contracting HIV, and my husband and I were devastated by this. One of our children died at the age of 11, the other one died at the age of 15, and our third son with hemophilia died at the age of 24. He had lived 20 years with HIV. And I tried to find some purpose for my life after their deaths. We had five sons, and we suddenly had two, and they were in college and out of the nest. And I thought, well, I'll go to law school. And I was in law school, and I said to my husband, I'm really not happy with this. And ended up deciding to adopt another child in memory of my son Michael, because Michael had always begged me to adopt a child from a war-torn country in Africa. And I decided that I would pursue that. And when I went online to look for children from war-torn countries in Africa, I discovered there was a little girl from Sierra Leone, and she was crossing the mountains into Guinea, where she would end up with a group of children in a refugee center. And I called the adoption agency, and they told me, oh, we're looking for a family for this particular child. Yes, you can have her. I mean, so quickly.
Wow.
Well, they knew I had adopted three children, so they thought there would be no problems with the adoption, and there weren't. But in the midst of the adoption, I learned about another little girl who was spotted, and the agency had tried to place her with a dozen families, and all 12 families had rejected her. And they said that they didn't know what to do. They didn't want to leave her in Africa. So I called my husband. He was on a business trip in Southeast Asia, and I called him, and it was the middle of the night there, and I told him what the agency had told us, and I said, could we adopt her as well? And my husband said, oh, sure, that's fine. And then I had power of attorney, so I immediately went out and filed the forms with immigration. And then I heard the next morning from my husband, and he said, I had the funniest dream last night. You called me and told me we were adopting a second little girl. And I said, well, we are. And my husband was so sweet. He said, oh, what's wrong with her? That nobody wanted her. And I said, well, she's spotted. He says, oh, that's fine. He says, we can take her. And that's how I got Michaela. And not only that, but Michaela was our half-price child. The agency said since we were willing to take her and she was spotted, they would place her with us for sibling cost, which I thought quite humorous. Um, it helped, but I wasn't chasing after this child because she was half price. But I used to joke that she was our half price child, and here she's this amazing child. So we ended
Wow.
with
So you
four
ended up with two little girls.
and four more after that.
And were they all coming from the same country?
No, three of our girls came from Sierra Leone, and three came from Liberia during the Civil War there. And
Okay.
our children now range from, well, we've lost the three boys, but our children now range from 15 years old up to 42.
Wow. Wow. So what has motherhood meant to you? It sounds to me like you were just primed and geared to be a mother.
Well, um, I I just enjoy it. What can I say? I love doing it. I love teaching. I think this is a part of my interest in teaching. I was a school teacher, and I love telling stories to the children, teaching them about history, and I just enjoy their company. I think they're humorous, they're entertaining, they're wonderful. I just love them. Not that they're all easy, but most of them are.
That's fantastic. Now, I know that there might be a few parents out there who are thinking of adopting and are not very sure, especially adopting out of Africa. I've got a few friends who've asked me about adoption. What would be the three things you would say to somebody who's considering making such a bold move based on what's been your life experience?
Um, First, I would say um, be cautious. Don't go into it wide-eyed and innocent. Some of the older children are very, very difficult to adopt. Older children, I'm talking about teens, because one of our children was a teen. And in Africa, a teenager is not a child. They don't have the benefits of being a child. So they're already acting as adults, and they will not adjust to being a child. So if you want a child to cuddle and mother, don't consider a teen. But if you want a child to give something to see her bloom, become educated, and improve her life, then go for a teen. But just be cautious when you adopt. Also, I would say just remember that a child is a child. Don't worry about your child's color. Don't worry about what your child might inherit. Just go for it if you really want to do it. Because I don't feel any differently towards my children that are white and my biological sons as I do towards my daughters who are black. And my girls even joke with me because they say that sometimes I'll say, "Oh, I didn't recognize that child when she was in her swimsuit." And I had trouble recognizing white children, I tell them. And my girls laugh at me because I recognize a black child, but I'm so used to seeing these sweet little black faces that that's my life. I don't see it any differently. So don't be afraid to adopt a child of a different race. Don't be afraid that your child might inherit some mental illness or something. I have not adopted. I mean, this has not happened to me. I know it can happen to someone. But just remember, when you adopt a child, that's your child, and you're going to love that child. So just go ahead and enjoy them and do it.
I guess it's like falling into parenting, because when you are parenting your own biological child, you have no idea what nature is going to give you, right?
No, you
So
have no idea.
it's
You
about going into it in exactly the same way.
Absolutely. And you know, it's really interesting because my children, my little girls, who are not such little girls anymore, they're all teenagers and young adults, um, they see me as their mom, and they see their dad as their dad. They don't see us as our adoptive parents. As a matter of fact, Michaela hates it when people refer to me as her adopted mom because she says she's my mom.
That
And
is true. That
yeah,
is
yeah,
so true. Well, this has
right.
been a really amazing Mother's Day special for me to be able to talk to a woman who has raised all these beautiful kids and given them an opportunity and a chance in life. Um, I really thank you for doing this interview for Mother's Day and to inspire a lot of women out there who are probably sitting on the fence and wondering, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? I think at the end of the day, it's your love, your dedication to that child that makes a difference, correct?
You know, it is. It is absolutely what you put into it. Except for the older, much older children. The younger children, the children under 10, under 12, those who are not full grown, they are children. And they'll love you, you'll love them. Um, yes, you may have some problems, but don't you have problems with biological children too? I mean, you know, there are issues with all children. Uh, I don't know. I've just been very fulfilled and very happy with my children, and I wish people the same good fortune with children from other countries or even from their own lands. I remember once someone saying to me, "You're going to adopt a child? Aren't you afraid that they'll have bad genes?" And
Mhm.
I've never worried about bad genes. It doesn't
It's
really
what you
matter.
put into them that makes them the people that they are.
And I have lovely girls. I have just, I have very talented girls. It's not that the talent blossomed on its own. If they remained in poverty, um, in an orphanage, they wouldn't. Michaela wouldn't be a ballerina. Mia wouldn't be a musician. Um, Bernice wouldn't be an artist. But it's what you put into them, you get from them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Elaine. Thank you for this interview, and I wish you the best of luck in everything you're doing with your writing and with your family. I really appreciate you doing this interview with me today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.